How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about ChargePoint. But before we get started, I want to let you guys know I ended up creating a cheat sheet that'll help you take your option game to the next level. If you want to download a copy, you can find it in the first link for the comments, and you can find it in the description as well. So as far as for ChargePoint, it was up 3.87% on the day. It is continuing to show a lot of strength. So of course, I want to give you guys this update video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on FinTel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for ChargePoint. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $15.55, being up 3.87%. On the low, it tested $14.53, and then on the high, testing $15.73. When we take a look at our volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 9.113 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 12.761 million shares. So we had below average volume on the day, but we still saw some strength in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it's at 64.27. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, but we are above the 50-day and as well as the 21-day EMA. And it's clear to see that ChargePoint has been on quite the run. If you guys remembered in my previous video, ChargePoint was looking strong as well, and I was sending out a big congratulations to those that were able to load up on shares when it was trading below $10. So now that we have broken above the 21-day EMA and as well as the 50-day, the next area that we want to see ChargePoint get to is the 200-day moving average, which is right here around $17.99. Let's just chalk that up as $18. But here's one thing I want to bring to your attention very quickly. Remember, we ended up having a similar run back in February, and from February it was at $11.71, and then it had resistance at the 200-day moving average right here around $20.80. Why is this important? Now you can see that we're making a move to that 200-day moving average, so it could serve as resistance and we could see a pullback in this stock. But one thing that is clear though, as far as for the technicals, it is definitely looking bullish. You see a continuation of higher lows and so forth, and the bulls continue to step in and push the price up in this play. So if you're a trader in this play, just make sure you're using the right risk management and you're protecting those profits, especially if you got in early. And just taking a look at this RSI at 64.27, when I had the pullback in the previous run, it was around 69. So that's something you want to keep an eye on as well. But for the most part, definitely great seeing ChargePoint run up. Now let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for ChargePoint. Scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings we have here, we have for the 7th, we have Bank of America that closed out their position, which were calls, and we also have Verichin Fund Management LLC, which was the 2nd, that also closed out their position, which were shares 100% there. Going down even further, for the 31st, we have a short position from Vanguard of 33,232 shares, and we also see for the 31st, Vanguard purchased 8,400 shares. So now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 66.46%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 4.35 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 2.6 million, updated just now, and then for the short vol fee rate, it is at 6.32%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 3rd, it was at 60.31, and then for the close of the 6th, being at 66 66.46. So that is a significant increase right there. And then taking a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 18.27%, ChargePoint does have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution.
Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for ChargePoint. So we see on the inflow it's at 19.24 million, and then on the outflow it's at 22.07 million. So we had an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 0, on the medium it was 13.71, and then on the small it was 5.53 million. When we take a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large it was 2.47 million, on the medium it was 14.17 million, and then on the small it was 5.43 million. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for June the 7th, which is today, we had that outflow of 2.47 million, though we did have an inflow on the 6th, which is at 1.02 million. And over the past 5 trading days, we've had 2 outflow days and 2 green days. When we take a look at the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, you could see that we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, it represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 2.70%. So this is not too bad for a stock like ChargePoint. It can be volatile, but what it shows us, there are many who are holding on to their positions, and it's very clear the bulls just keep buying this play up since it has been on a strong uptrend. We'll talk about it further in the final thoughts, so let's get into it right now. So for my final thoughts for ChargePoint, when it comes to the price action, what I want you guys to keep an eye on is the 200-day moving average. Currently, it's at $17.99, but we'll just chalk this up as $18. Why is this so significant? If we take a look at the charts on the previous run-up that we had at the end of February, it had a strong move, and then it sold off when it tested the 200-day moving average. So what it looks like, considering that the stock looks like it wants to make a move going to $16, it's only $2 away from that 200-day moving average. So if it ends up getting there, you want to keep a very close eye on it, because there is a possibility we could be seeing a breakdown in the price. We have sellers and also people wanting to take profits. So I want to make sure that you are prepared for that. But aside from that, I'd really want to see ChargePoint going to $16. And I think that it is very achievable, especially if we continue to see strength in these markets. And due to the fact that it has been quite volatile, but ChargePoint just continues to run up, is part of the reasons why I feel like you shouldn't be taking your eye off of it. I also want to send out a big congratulations to those who were able to load up on shares when it was trading below $20. I did the video and I was saying, are you going to be buying into the fear? And for those that bought into the fear, that's what you're supposed to do to make money in these markets consistently. But one thing I want to remind you, if you are a trader, please make sure that you're moving up your stops. This is very key. So just in case we have a big pullback, you'll be able to protect those profits that you were able to make. As far as for weakness in the chart, as long as we have strength above the 50-day moving average, which is at $14.20, I feel ChargePoint should be just fine, and that is my personal opinion. But if we do break through that 50-day moving average, of course, I'll give you guys an update video, but that's just something that you do not want to see whatsoever. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we do see some activity, but we don't see a lot. And then taking a look at the short interest information, ChargePoint does have short squeeze potential. And as far as for the short volume, it is continuing to increase, being in that 60% range. So that's why I'm telling you guys, we have a lot of volatility in these markets, and you want to make sure that you're able to take advantage of it. But with that said, it's very key that you're using the right risk management and to make sure that you are protecting your profits. Another point that I want to bring up, we have the CPI data that's going to be coming out on Friday. And depending on what those results are, it will have an impact on the market as a whole. So this is why you want to make sure that you are prepared for that. And we also do have the quad witching that is coming next week, and we also do do have the Fed meeting. So this is why I say it is great that ChargePoint has been on quite the run, but if you're gonna be naive and think that this stock is just gonna continue to go up, then you deserve what may happen to you. I wanna make sure that I'm being completely honest with you guys. I'm not trying to be one of those channels that's gonna continue to say, well, you know what, it's gonna pump, it's gonna continue to go up. I believe in the long-term prospects of ChargePoint, but we can't forget about the market conditions. Protect those profits if you are a trader. And if you are an investor, I feel there is no reason whatsoever you should be buying at these current levels, okay? Just wait for it to pull back. Like I said, you had the opportunity to load up on shares when it was trading below $10. Now you just have to be patient because there is a lot of uncertainty in these markets. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how ChargePoint performs going into tomorrow. We'll talk soon.